beautiful beaders, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and today I have the Bargain Bead Box for the month of August 2020 right in front of us and ready to open. This is one of the most favorite subscriptions, it seems like, on this channel that I share. It's only $17.95 per month shipped to your door if you're in the US, and I have a coupon code which will save you $2 off the first month of your subscription, and that is Opal2, OPAL2. So I'll leave that as well as the link to this subscription right down below the video if you'd like to check it out. If you did sign up today, you would be on board to get next month's Bargain Bead Box. Each month they come with a theme, and I have no idea what it is this month, so I'm dying to see what we have inside. We always get a really well thought out grouping of beaded jewelry making goodies that follow a color theme, and you get coordinating findings and beads in this subscription. So everything inside is going to be in this tissue paper bundle, which we'll take a look at in just a second. And then we have a note here on top of our contents, which tells us more about the theme. It's called Elegance, and it says that they're celebrating the natural beauty of agate with this month's collection. So we'll see some gold tone findings along with that. And it looks like a beautiful focal or two and some accent beads to go along with that. Now, in addition to this note, below that, there's also a coupon code that comes each month that is good for their sister site, beadboxbargains.com, which I've shared here a lot. And typically that coupon is for 30% off. So lots of great deals to be had. Another great perk of the subscription. And then on the back of that is our list of everything that's included in this package. And as you can see, there's going to be 20 different items we're going to take a look at. So for $17.95 shipped to your door, it's really an excellent value. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pop open this bundle. And here is a little quick sneak peek before we get into everything. You can see all of the gold findings, and this organza bag is just chock full. So let me get organized, and then we will look at these contents up close one at a time. We have so many things to take a look at, and this is going to be a more neutral palette, but as it says, it is very elegant looking already to me with everything laid out. And sometimes we get more colorful palettes. Every month is completely different, which ends up getting you a nice collection of goodies to play around with over time. So this first item we're taking a look at, it says it's approximately a 100-piece strand of 4mm crystal bicone beads in the color Smoky Topaz. You can see how sparkly they are. And this is a nice long strand. These are glass beads, not Swarovski crystal quality, but still good quality and very usable, very sparkly, and will blend nicely with the other items we have to check out today, that's for sure. Our second item is in this bag, and we're kicking the findings off, it looks like, with our chain. So this bag contains approximately 1 meter of 2.5mm steel Rollo jewelry chain. Love getting the chain in these subscriptions, and they're always very generous with the quantity that they send. So that is a look at that up close. This is a very bright gold, but the good thing is, gold comes in some different tones, some lighter, some more brassy. And the tones of gold that we're gonna see in this month's box all tend to go really well with each other. They're all kind of the same tone. So great all-purpose chain in a size that's big enough to break up and use as pieces of connector or wire wrap onto, but at the same time, not too big and overwhelming. All right, so next we have bag number 3. We have another finding item, and this says it contains a 53 by 38mm teardrop chandelier focal. So this is definitely something you could get creative with. That is a pretty good size. So it would definitely make a statement depending on what you do with it. If you're into resin and different things, you could probably use it for that application. There's so many different openings, as well as using this for wire or bead weaving around. Most of you guys know, have been around a while, Bargain Bead Box is great about including some of these types of interesting findings where it really gets you thinking. And it's interesting to see what direction you can go in with a piece just like that. So next up we have bag number 4, which contains 2 pieces of teardrop top drilled hoops. They're 44 by 30mm. So these are a pretty good size too. You could actually make a couple of pendants out of these, or you could use them for some statement earrings if you like the earrings on the larger side. You see that these have holes at the top here where you can attach your findings or your chain or your stringing material. And the quality feels good. They're nice and decently thick, they're smooth, and like I said, this tone of gold all tends to match with everything we've gotten so far, which is important to a lot of people. And number 5, getting back to the beads, is a bag containing a strand of 8 to 9 millimeter natural agate matte round beads. It's approximately a 7-inch long strand. So here we go, very neutral, not super shiny or anything because of that matte finish. And all of the beads are going to be just a little bit different due to the fact that they are stone, but they mostly follow the same tone for the most part, that very, very light gray, except for some of these warmer, smokier tones showing up in a few of these other beads. Next up, we have bag number 6, which contains a 16-inch strand of 6 by 4 millimeter faceted crystal rondelle beads in the color Sea Opal. Another very neutral strand, but look at how many beads you get. These are very sparkly as well, kind of like those bicones we first took a look at, where it's just a great generic neutral item, something that can go in so many different types of projects, whether you're into bead stringing or bead weaving or any other type of beading craft. And it's not just a flat opaque white, you know, that opal means that it has kind of more of that milky type of translucency where you can kind of see through it, but it's not totally transparent. And even these glass white tone beads with the gold make for a pretty elegant looking statement, just that combination on its own. All right, and then bag number 7, we have 6 pieces of 33 by 16 millimeter curved branch pendant links inside this bag. And here they are. So we've gotten these before in different color tones. This time we're getting them in gold, and I really like them. I've used these for necklace connectors before, even doing an asymmetrical necklace where you just use one on one side and then sort of balance out the other with a different component. These will also make great pendants, and again, you have all those different spots there where you could really get as creative as you want or leave these as minimal as you want. It's nice that they give us more than just 1 or 2, and there is the 6th one, by the way. It was still stuck in the bag, so 6 of these, which is very generous. Now back to the beads again. We have bag number 8, and this contains a 7.5-inch strand of natural Botswana agate pebble beads. Wow, that's very cool. Aren't these beautiful? Look at all the different striations, the different colors of this agate. It really is a celebration of the stone and all the beautiful forms that it can take on and all the beautiful colors, kept quite natural like that, but polished up and shiny. And I'm always amazed with the subscription, because for the price to get a subscription with gemstone beads included every month, and not just one strand, you usually get multiple strands of them that coordinate. It's just such an amazing value. I'm going to put this strand here because I feel like it's kind of one of our stars of the show here bead-wise. Next up, we have bag number 9, and this says it contains a 10-piece strand of 12.5 by 4 millimeter crystal bicone beads in white jade luster finish. So these are a very interesting shape, something different, some more Chinese crystal it looks like, and they're bicones, but you can see how elongated they are. They're not what you would normally think of as a 4 millimeter bicone because they're 12 millimeters in length. I love that slight luster or AB finish that it has. You can see the little rainbow shimmer that's reflecting back, and this is another one of those kind of creamier tones, not a flat opaque white, and they do look a little bit more stone-like. Like the name, it says it's supposed to kind of imitate jade a little bit. That would add some beautiful sparkle and shimmer to some of these other items. And then bag number 10, it says this contains 50 pieces of 7 millimeter teardrop fringe beads. That's interesting. You know, I really like these. These are different than anything that I've seen come in the Bargain Bead Box before. And I mean, it's kind of a simple concept, but they're just like getting charms, except they're tiny, and you could use them at the bottoms of, say, a necklace for a really cool texture and fringe effect. That'll be something fun and new and different for me to play with, so I'm excited about that. And again, you get a good handful of these little fringe beads. Just string those on in between some other beads. I bet those are gonna look really pretty. All right, we're halfway through our bargain bead box. We still have halfway to go. It's just unbelievable. Here's bag number 11, which contains 4 pieces of 28mm teardrop chandelier earring findings. And again, we have that same golden tone. These are not double-sided, so there's a look at the back and there's a look at the front. Lots of detail in here. If you were concerned about them not being double-sided, you could potentially put these back to back and connect them and also make them a little bit thicker if you wanted to. And like I usually say, these could be used as connectors too, not just earring findings. Next up, we have bag number 12. It says this contains 100 pieces of 4.5 by 1.5mm star spacer beads. Another great staple item in a coordinating tone. There's our full handful of these little daisy spacers. You can see the pentagonal shape, the little 5-sided design, which look like little stars or flowers. Those will come in handy for sure. And then we have bag number 13, which contains 10 pieces of 10mm faceted crystal round beads in matte ice blue. These are gorgeous. They are a solid opaque glass bead, and they just have a hint of a grayish luster depending on where the light hits them. It's really subtle, but it gives these a little bit more dimension than if they were just the flat white color in the background. Something else I like is that they provide us with different sizes of beads, not just different types and shapes, but also different sizes, which can be really helpful when you're trying to build up a stash or trying to make pieces from a single subscription all at once if you don't have a lot already. All right, bag number 14 contains 3 sets of 18mm rounded square toggle clasps. And here's a look at these, nothing too fancy, pretty minimal, but a departure from a round shape. You can see again, the gold tone matches our other findings and they're giving us 3, not just 1. And then next we get to bag number 15. It says this contains 2 pieces of 22mm infinity links. I really like these. These are so simple, but again, you can do so many different things with something like this. And they really are elegant. They have that gentle sweeping curve in the infinity shape with a larger opening here on the bottom and a smaller one here on the top. You could make a really simple and elegant pair of earrings just with these, maybe dangling off the bottom of one other thing and call it a day. All right, bag number 16 contains 30 pieces of 6.5mm classic 5 petal bead caps. We all know what these look like, but here's a handful of the petal bead caps here in my hand. We are no stranger to these little floral, very simple bead caps, this time in the golden tone. Another handy finding item to have to go along with our creations. And then you didn't think we were done with the agate, did you? No, we're not done. We have more agate to look at. Here's bag number 17. This contains a 7-inch strand of 6mm frosted red agate round beads. These are dyed and heat treated. And that, of course, to give these that warmer, more fiery look that they have, especially with compared to the more natural grayish or taupe agate in its natural form. You can see these also have the matte finish, and they're all just a little bit different in their own way. Still a very neutral palette that we have here, but a balance to some of the cooler neutrals that we have down here. This strand picks up some of the warmer tones like you see in the pebble beads, whereas some of the pebble beads would lend itself more to these cooler agate beads here. So it's a really great addition having so many different forms and variations of this agate to work with. Speaking of which, here is bag number 18. This contains a 7-inch strand of 8mm natural polished agate beads. So here is yet another strand of agate. This one kept in more of its natural form, except that it is glossier than the strand that we took a look at down here below, which was the matte. These are shined up, smooth and polished, and you can see all the different striations, the different tones of gray and white and taupe that will blend beautifully with the things that we see here today, or would work well too jazzed up with some brighter colors, whatever you want to do. All right, then we have bag number 19. This one contains, it says, 2 pieces approximately 26 millimeter brass edged faceted natural agate teardrops. Gorgeous. These are so beautiful. So if you got 2 that look very, very similar, they could obviously make a quick pair of earrings for you. I'm sure they're all going to be just a little bit different because of the natural agate material. They've got just the most gentle faceting on them, so they're not just a flat agate or just rounded. You can see they've got just a little facet there. And the stone is a bit wider than its setting, so it peeks out from both the top and the bottom. And they're set in there very well. So these aren't going to be your top of the line gemstone style components, but they're still great. They're still fantastic. And for the price of the subscription, it's just unbelievable. They're quite smooth and really do have an elegant look. And for our 20th and final item in this month's Bargain Bead Box, we have a 34 millimeter brass edged natural gray agate teardrop pendant. What a great way to wrap up the end of this box. And I'm going to hold it here so you can see this does let some of the light through. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that subtle chevron shape there in the center of this one. Again, I'm sure everybody's is going to be a little bit different just because it's stone, and that's what happens with these more natural materials. There's different shades of gray. I just love those different striations. It's subtle and natural and beautiful, and the shape of this pendant does really mimic these 2 teardrop smaller findings that we have here if you wanted to incorporate this and make it into a set. So what a fabulous Bargain Bead Box, in my opinion, that we received for August 2020. And you guys know I'm a bright colors girl, but I really do appreciate the understated elegance of neutrals and how important they are. I mean, you have to have neutrals. You need those to combine with other things, even if you typically like working with other colors. So again, I'm very happy with this month's Bargain Bead Box. I have been for quite some time. If you haven't seen any of my other Bargain Bead Box unboxings, I do have a playlist showing over 2 years worth of these unboxing videos, so you can really get a flavor for the types of things that they send and the value of what you get for the subscription. So I highly recommend it. Again, you can use the coupon code OPAL2 to save $2 off your first month, which would make it only $15.95 shipped to your door. To try it out, I think this is a really well-rounded subscription due to the fact that you get so many findings with all of the beads that coordinate. So even if you don't have a lot of things, it's amazing how many pieces could come out of what is right here. And I've shared that a lot as well over the past couple years. So as usual, I hope to be back to share some more finished pieces from this month's Bargain Bead Box in a future finished jewelry update video. So stay tuned for that. I want to thank you guys so much for being with me. It's always much more fun to have you guys unboxing with me. And I'd love to hear what you have to say down below. If you'd like to share your thoughts on this month's contents, or let us know what you plan to make or maybe have already made from the contents of this month's box. But that's all I have for you guys today. Until next time, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and I hope you guys are staying healthy and creative, all those things, of course. And as always, happy beading. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. For more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can check out the information section below this video for links to all my social media handles, recommended products, and my shop and blog at orchidandopal.com. Thanks for watching.